Hello, I hope you're doing well today. I am about to get prepared to teach a yoga class this morning. And I'm always contemplating, how can I help others? How can I communicate things in a way that helps someone else understand something's benefits? And it got me to thinking. I was in my yurt out back, and if you didn't know, I'll kind of give you an update on like what I'm doing in my life. I live behind a building that I don't own. I live in a parking lot. And before I moved into this parking lot, I was bouncing around from campground to campground in my tiny little camper. It's a teardrop camper that I decided 4 years ago to move into my camper and go on a journey of letting go on a journey of not knowing anything. And in that process of that journey, I spent way too much time with myself and my thoughts. And this little guy right here became my best friend. Now, not this particular journal, but when I was camping and moving around, I was doing online college using my GI Bill at the time. I was doing online college classes, living in my camper, and traveling around the United States to get really uncomfortable. I may seem very strong and confident on the outside, but when you start to exit the life that has been told, or that you've been told you should live, like you should live in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath place. Or if you have a family, you should live in a 4-bedroom and a 3-bathroom home. And you should have this amount of land, and you should have these amenities, and you should drive this type of car with heated seats, and you should have your thermostat set at this amount so you're comfortable all the time. You should have 2 sinks in your bathroom. So not only do you have a private bath, but you and your spouse have your own separate sink, so you don't have to be uncomfortable when it's time to brush your teeth at night. You don't even have to look at each other. So I make jokes, but we have been living in a world and a society that has brought us comfort beyond our wildest dreams. But 4 years ago, when I sold my house and I decided to live in a tiny camper and start using the bathroom outside, showering at campgrounds, and living in my friends' driveways for an extended period of time as I tried to figure out, who the hell am I? What do I want in my life? I was lost. Absolutely lost. I'm sweating so much. Energy flowing through me this morning. So I was so lost and scared. I went through a deep, dark depression, and I spent a lot of time alone, and I spent a lot of time writing all the shit that came through in my head. I would write it out, because it's kind of like a couple other things in life, better out than in. So writing has been my saving grace. And I was talking with a friend this week. She was like, ooh, sometimes I'm like, why don't people want to write? And she's like, well, because when we start to take the thoughts in here and put it on paper, we actually see it's real. We have to look at what's going on inside of us. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. But I've been doing that for a little while. But I got really uncomfortable. I didn't even know, I had a landscape business when I was a teenager. So I pulled around a trailer and a lawnmower, and I did landscaping work. So I had experience with pulling a trailer when I started living in my camper, but it had been a really long time. So I had to go through that process of like being a beginner and not knowing what the hell I was doing. And it was uncomfortable. Pulling up to a campground, unhooking my trailer, hooking my trailer back up, not knowing what I was doing. At one point, I was up at Hobuck Beach in Washington. I pulled out of my campsite and the camper fell off the back of my car. And I was so embarrassed. And I remember in the beginning when I used to camp, I was so ashamed to pull up to campsites by myself. I was all alone. I didn't have a boyfriend at the time. and I'd broken up with my boyfriend to go on this journey. And there was nothing wrong with our relationship. I just knew I had to go on this journey by myself. I had to get really uncomfortable. And so I broke up with my boyfriend, and so my heart was broken. I broke my own heart by leaving that relationship. I left my job. I stopped teaching yoga. I let go of all the things that made me really comfortable. All the things around me that said, you're lovable, and I love you, and you're so great, and all of that shit. So I let all of that go. And I'm falling apart. I pull up to campgrounds, and I'm like thinking everyone's staring at me because I don't know what I'm doing. And no one cared. No one gives a shit about us. Like, the only people that truly care about us is us. Like, we have to get clear on caring about ourselves and deciding, what do we want? What do you want? And not worrying about what society tells you you should have. If you don't want to have a 3-bedroom home with 2 baths, you don't have to have that. You could live in a tent if that's what you want to do. You can live in an apartment in the middle of a city if that's what you want. However, we are so programmed by our society to be comfortable. And the true discomfort in life comes from really peeling back the layers that our families, school, maybe a religion or a belief system that we were raised in or something like that has put on us and made us feel ashamed. Made us feel ashamed of being human. I was ashamed of my sexuality as a young girl. I was told I should feel ashamed of myself for being sexual. So I've carried this extreme amount of shame and guilt all those years, and I covered it up with booze, promiscuity, partying, drugs, like you name it. Oh, and then when I wasn't abusing drugs or alcohol, when I wasn't doing that, I was abusing my body by exercise. So guess what? All of us out here that are overzealous exercise addicts, we're no different than the heroin addict on the corner. We want to act righteous in our healthy addict behaviors. We're not. So we are all trying to avoid the discomfort of being ourselves. And this society has programmed us to want to buy things. They're going to tell you, buy this and you'll feel better. Do this and you'll feel better. Buy our program. Become this and it'll take your pain away. Get a college degree and you'll find some self-worth. And that's great. It's all lovely. However, but the true discomfort is coming from not knowing who we are. And when I started doing yoga, I heard the teacher keep saying, get in touch with your truth. And it was so annoying because I was like, what the hell? It's like, I don't know what the hell she's talking about. Because when she said, get in touch with your truth, I was confused. I had a big question mark. I don't know what she's talking about. So I don't use certain language when I teach because I know I was confused as hell. Like, what is that teacher talking about? So what our truth is what makes you happy. Like, what do you like to do? What do you like to do that you don't have to go buy? What is something simple that you enjoy just by being alive? What is that? I mean, you can go like buy paint and art and do art. Like, that's a thing, but you're not trying to buy happiness. You're doing it through creative endeavors. So it could be you could like to go forage for food in the wild forest. You could like to be a hunter. You might like to go and hunt or fish and kill your food and provide for people. You may like to make something, clothing. You may like to create songs or poetry. You may like to do plants and grow things. You may like to do mechanical work. So that is kind of what I'm getting at when I say, what is your truth? I'll never say that in a yoga class because I was like, what does she mean? Am I a liar? Like, what's going on? But because we've been programmed to like have all these comforts, we kind of get disassociated with what we really want in life. And we're like, well, if I'm just comfortable right now, I guess that's good. This is the American dream, right? I'm sitting here in my recliner and my couch, and I'm watching this big screen TV, and I'm just all numbed out because I'm eating a bag of Cheetos and drinking a soda. Like, I've been numbed out on so many things. So I make jokes about it, but it's just, it's just the truth for me. I used to eat boxes of Snickers when I was out on military deployments because I would just numb out with food and sugar. When I couldn't drink, I would numb out with food. And that was something I did in my military career because we would be out to sea for 8 months at a time. And sometimes we wouldn't hit a port for months and months. So I definitely was just numbing out with food. That was my thing. And exercise. So I would overeat, and then I would go exercise and trying to numb out all the discomfort of the feelings of stuff. So 99% of disease is psychological. This is where I'm going. If we want to end the battle with cancer and all these different diseases, right? We have to remember that being human is an emotional experience. And if you were programmed as a young child to dry it up, I'll give you something to cry about. I don't want to see any more tears. We have learned to completely shut off from our emotions. And there's a saying that goes, tears that are unable to come out of our eyes will find places to exit from in the form of disease. For example, your liver, your lungs, your colon, your spleen, your pancreas, your gallbladder, your brain. When tears are unable to come out of our eyes in the form of emotion, human emotion, those tears will find organs to cry out of in the form of disease. There is nothing wrong with having human emotion. It is actually why we are here. And it's really uncomfortable when we've been told over and over that it's wrong to show emotion. Have you ever felt really happy? You're just have tears of joy? Like something is just so beautiful and you feel weird about it? So anyways, also, have you ever seen someone else hurt someone else and it hurts you on the inside? It literally hurts you to see someone else hurting another person. We are all connected. We're all connected. So even if pain wasn't inflicted necessarily onto you and you saw it as a young child, that can be in your body. That can be in your energy. So that's just food for thought. Well, what's the point? Yoga class, fitness classes, whatever, moving your body in a way, like getting your body moving and finding discomfort is the starting point of transformation and understanding and finding your inner voice, your inner understanding of yourself. So in yoga classes, we hold poses and you get a little uncomfortable. Or if you go to the gym or if you go out for a long hike, you get uncomfortable. That's great. Spend time alone for 3 years in a camper and you're right, and you get really uncomfortable because you got to deal with yourself. Can we continue to let go of the numbing agents, whatever they are in our lives? Relationships, constant conversations, constant scrolling, constant need for distraction. Can we let go of these numbing agents in order to get to know ourselves at a deeper level and find out, moving forward, what will bring you some joy? And it may not be the 3-bedroom home with 2.5 baths. It may be something like an excursion or some kind of trip, or it could be some kind of different way or a different lifestyle, how you live. I don't know what is great for you. Only you can understand that. And we do that through getting uncomfortable. We get to know what really makes us alive and feel great and alive when we first get uncomfortable and get frustrated with understanding the program that we've been under. I love you. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And actually, real quick, I'll show you something. This weekend, I have a full schedule today, but I'm gonna, the other day I spilled the whole can of stain. Well, I redeemed myself. I got some new cans of stain, and I got my little station set up with some drop cloths. So I'm going to work on that when I'm done with my work day today. I will be able to stain all night long, and maybe we'll get some walls in here soon. And I will be able to fully serve everyone out of one building instead of going back and forth. But I'm not complaining, because last year I was driving between two separate towns serving clients and making it work. So when something makes you feel good and you want to do it, you'll do it. You'll find a way. You'll make it happen. And I hope that today, if it sparks something in you, a question or something, feel free to reach out at any time, because I have been an addict of everything. I am a world-renowned addict of all the stuff. And I'm not afraid to tell you, I've been arrested. I have really made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I own it, because the only way to truly learn in life is try things. And you got to go find out, like, I don't like that. I do like this. I don't like that. I do like this. So get out and live. Stop being so damn comfortable. Stop being so damn afraid of making a mistake, and get out there and frickin' live your life and make some mistakes. And only through failure and failure and failure can we find success. And success is only determined by you. And success is you going toward a goal that you set for yourself, not society, okay? All right. I love you. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.